If you like the idea of Jalen Ramsey joining the Las Vegas Raiders, then I believe you're going to really enjoy today's show. Hit that like button right now if you want the star cornerback of the Rams to find himself in Las Vegas. I'm Mitchell Renz, host of the #1 most watched Raiders show in the entire world. Yes, that's right, the Raiders Report by Chat Sports. The reason why I'm breaking down this video for you today is because there's been some rumors around Jalen Ramsey potentially getting cut. ESPN NFL insider Jeremy Fowler said that the Rams could potentially move on from Ramsey in a recent article that he just published. Los Angeles could be headed towards a little bit of a reset. Yes, they won the Super Bowl in 2021, but they did have a very bad season this past year. And one of the biggest reasons why that this is a possibility is because Ramsey's got that $25.2 million dead cap hit. And then you think about their head coach and Sean McVay. This team, the Rams that we're talking about, was at their best when their offense was clicking with Matthew Stafford, and their offensive line was abysmal. You could probably use that $25.2 million and build a little bit more around your O-line, which then could be meaning that Ramsey is the odd man out. Let's face the facts, though. If Ramsey hits the open market, there are going to be a lot of NFL teams looking for him because I bet you if you were to ask all 32 general managers who's the best cornerback in the National Football League, I'm going to say half probably look to Ramsey. And that's even kind of pretty surprising because he's coming off a year that he's struggled a little bit. 4 interceptions, 16 pass breakups. But when you look at the coverage stats, 62.6% completion percentage against them. That's actually one of the worst of his career. 659 yards allowed. That's the second most he's allowed in his career, behind only his rookie season. 5 touchdowns, the most he's ever allowed. And then 84.5 rating. I do believe that one of the biggest reasons why Ramsey struggled this past season is because the Rams, they just simply couldn't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. And when you leave a corner to defend a lot, he can struggle. And I can also imagine that, well, he was really frustrated the way that this season went. But then when you look at his 2022 PFF grades, you're going to see the overall at 86.4. And yes, that is extremely great in terms of the way that PFF ranks guys. But if you've watched the show before, you'll know the way that I do it. I look at coverage. 77.8. I'm not going to anticipate Ramsey's going to have over a 90 grade in terms of pass rush and run defense. That's just not going to happen every year. He did take a step back in coverage, and maybe it's because he wasn't as motivated. Hopefully, if he were to come to the Raiders, that means that they're going all in, and hopefully that helps out this team's secondary, and hopefully the Raiders win more football games, which means Jalen Ramsey is a lot more motivated. So if you want the Raiders to sign Jalen Ramsey, let me know down in the comments section. Give me a Y for yes, or you're going to give me an N for no. My take on this is this. There's going to be some people out there like, wait, Mitch, you said the Raiders should not trade for Jalen Ramsey, which I would respond with, that's correct. That's exactly what I said. And the reason why I said that is because if you're the Rams and you traded 2 first-round picks for him, I would imagine in a trade you would probably want that. I want this Raiders team to be able to build through the draft, and they need a lot of draft capital. If he hits the open market, though, that's a totally different conversation. For you to be able to get one of the best cornerbacks on your team, you at least have to pick up the phone and give that man a call. So coming up here on today's show, we're going to get into Jalen Ramsey being linked to the Raiders. Yeah, I know, more Ramsey rumors, and I feel like I have talked about this topic. I almost feel like I'm going back into 2019. I almost want to put on my old silver jacket like I used to wear. But hey, man, sometimes you got to be able to face the facts. Jalen Ramsey, if he gets cut, who knows? Maybe he wasn't the right man for the job. And I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for LinkedIn because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. You ever find a company that you're like, I'm always going to support them because they helped me get to where I'm at? Well, if you're a small business owner and you want to grow your business, I believe LinkedIn is the way to do it. And you can post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. I've also put that link for you guys down in the comments and in the description of today's video. So we always have that old saying here on the Raiders Report, where there's smoke, there's fire, and this isn't quite exactly the same thing, but there have been rumors, there have been reports out there that the Los Angeles Rams could potentially move on from Ramsey, and I found this tweet, which I did. I thought it was interesting, that there's going to be some teams out there that are like, hey, Rams, is that Ramsey guy available? And I actually think that the answer to that is you're going to say probably. Now, sure, you're going to see reports out there that teams are looking to trade for Ramsey. That usually happens when a team's just trying to up somebody's price tag. I mean, shit, the Raiders just did it with Derek Carr. We saw how that ended up going down. I do still think, though, that Ramsey, because of that $25.2 million cap hit and the way that this Rams team is going to be building going forward, he could potentially get released. So let's play a game here. We find out Jalen Ramsey is released, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks that this is a possibility. An article from Bleacher Report that was titled, Ramsey's Top Potential Landing Spots If Rams Cut Star Cornerback in the Offseason. Well, guess who was the top team that was linked to him? It's the Las Vegas Raiders, and the reason is because Ramsey has said before that he's been interested in the Raiders. It's also not a secret to Raider Nation, and it's definitely not a secret to the NFL either that, let's face it, the Raiders secondary for a very long time has struggled. I still want the Raiders to be able to go out and get some players on that defensive line, get some extra dudes, and sure, if you pay them a lot of money, you might not be able to do that. But I also know if you can take away one side of the field, it definitely helps out a lot. So this is what Jalen Ramsey had to say on a trade to the Rams back in 2019. The team that I pushed for the most, I was like, please get me here, was at the time the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. I dang near begged to go to the Raiders. I begged to go to the Raiders. Well, shit, if he becomes a free agent, now you can come to Las Vegas because that's tax-free money, and, I mean, we know that Jalen Ramsey likes to get the bag, right? But he has done his showcasing before, and I know this one player here, not the best person, but I wanted to be able to show the rumor here because Ramsey at one point messaged Henry Ruggs and he said, who's got number 22? So there you go. There's another example of Ramsey on social media showing interest in coming to the Raiders. I don't know if he's ever going to be in silver and black. I don't know if he's ever going to rep the shield. But there's one thing I know. It's that if the Raiders get Jalen Ramsey, I'm going to be going live here on the Raiders Report. And if I don't, well, then I probably got to go check out LinkedIn because I'm going to be needing a new job. I don't want you to miss the live show. I don't want you to miss any of our live shows. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications because no matter if we're partying, no matter what we're doing here on this show, we're going to have a good time and we're going to keep you up to date. So seriously, hit that subscribe button. More quotes here around Bleacher Report linking Jalen Ramsey to the silver and black. The Las Vegas Raiders are moving from veteran quarterback Derek Carr, but that doesn't mean they're committing to a rebuild. This was a playoff team a year ago, and there are some strong pieces in place with a nucleus highlighted by Davante Adams, Kolton Miller, Darren Waller, and Maxx Crosby. Las Vegas is also projected by Spotrac to possess more salary cap space than anybody else in the AFC. For extra context there, the Raiders right now are third, somewhere around $50 million, behind only the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. And a pass defense that ranked 31st in DVOA, which is defense adjusted value over average. At Football Outsiders, would likely love to upgrade over impending free agent cornerback Rock Ya-Sin anyway. It might depend on what the Raiders do at quarterback now, but at this stage, Ramsey makes a lot of sense as a potential addition this offseason. So when I think of Jalen Ramsey hitting the open market, he's going to be one of the top cornerbacks. If not, he's going to be the top cornerback on the market. If not, he might be the top player that hits the open market. Now, if you're the Raiders, you're looking at that, and if I'm Jalen Ramsey, I'm sitting there saying, hey, man, I want probably somewhere around $20 million, and for Dave Ziegler, Josh McDaniels, they potentially don't want to put all of their eggs in one basket. So could you look at a James Bradbury, a Jamel Dean? Those guys, they're going to get some money as well. Nobody's going to quite get the bag like Ramsey does. And there are some good cornerbacks out there that they could potentially sign. But you know what? I know Ramsey's going to want to get paid. He was, right now, as it stands, the third highest paid cornerback, and this is per year on their contract at $20 million. The other reason why I know for a fact that Ramsey is going to want to get paid is because, well, I remember actually when I was here at Chat Sports and we were doing all these rumors around Ramsey, very similar to the way that I feel like I'm covering Aaron Rodgers right now to the silver and black. I can remember when Ramsey came out of that Brinks truck with the bags of money before he got his big deal. If you're coming out of a Brinks truck, I get it. It was back in 2019. Jalen Ramsey's going to want to get the bag. The real question is, will the Raiders want to do it? Another thing I know for a fact, if I'm Jalen Ramsey, if I come to the Raiders, this is never going to happen to me again. And you know what? Davante's not the only guy that has had Jalen Ramsey's number. Hunter Renfrow, I've also been told, if you look on Wikipedia, Hunter Renfrow listed as Jalen Ramsey's daddy. Obviously, kind of kidding there. I would welcome Ramsey to this team. I don't want to throw a huge lump sum of money because this team does have a lot of needs. But if Ramsey wanted to be a Raider and he was willing to be somewhat negotiable with his contract, I personally believe you'd be stupid not to at least say, hey, man, let's go. Let's go after a ring. Now, I am getting ready to wrap up today's show, but I do have a fun little announcement here. We're going to be live tomorrow on the Raiders Report, Jeremy Chuggs and I, and it's going to be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We have been going live on Thursdays, but I decided to switch it up. It's my birthday weekend, and my dad's going to be coming to the studio. He's super excited to hang out with the nation. He's been throwing together all these funny, random stories of him and I when I was a kid, and I hope that you guys tune in. We're going to be doing rumors. I haven't decided what my segment's going to be. We're going to be doing a mailbag, and then my dad and I, we got dinner plans, so we are going to do a little bit of a happy hour here. So if you want to tune in to the live show tomorrow, another reason to hit that subscribe button. I know me, but definitely my dad would appreciate it.